Have you ever felt stuck, caught between the life you know and a future you can't quite see? It's a feeling of hesitation, where leaving everything behind feels impossible, even when you know you have to. Welcome back to our journey through the Bible. Today's story captures this exact struggle, a story of fire, mercy, and the incredible danger of looking back. This is the story of the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. Our story begins as the sun sets over the city of Sodom. Two strangers, who are actually angels in disguise, arrive at the city gates. Lot, a righteous man living in a deeply corrupt place, is sitting there. In ancient times, the city gate was the center of public life, where business was done and judgments were made. The moment Lot sees these travelers, he recognizes they are different. He rushes to greet them and insists they come to his home to rest safely for the night. The angels initially refuse, saying they'll just stay in the city square. But Lot knows the streets of Sodom are filled with danger, and he pleads with them until they finally agree. He brings them into his home, washes their feet, a sign of deep hospitality, and prepares a meal for them. It seems like a peaceful evening, but that peace is about to be shattered. A terrifying noise starts outside. It's not just a few troublemakers. It was the men of the city, both young and old, from every part of Sodom. They surround Lot's house like a hungry pack of wolves, pounding on the door, their voices filled with menace. They demand that Lot bring out his guests. The hidden wickedness of the city was no longer hiding. It was right there on his doorstep, raw and violent. In a desperate act of courage, Lot steps outside, shutting the door behind him to protect his guests. He tries to reason with the enraged mob, pleading with them to abandon their wicked intentions. But their anger immediately turns on him. "Get out of our way. You came here as a foreigner, and now you want to be our judge? We'll treat you worse than we treat them." The crowd surges forward, ready to break down the door and drag everyone out. Lot is about to be overwhelmed. And then the door swings open just enough for the two angels to reach out, pull Lot back inside to safety, and slam it shut. In that same instant, they strike the entire mob outside with a blinding light. The men who were so full of rage and power are stumbling around in total darkness, completely disoriented. They grope for the door, but can't find it. Their violent threats turn into confused murmurs. In a flash, their power is gone. Inside, the angel's tone is no longer that of weary travelers. It's one of divine urgency. "Lot, do you have anyone else in this city? Sons, daughters, sons-in-law, anyone connected to you? Get them out of this place immediately. The Lord has sent us to destroy it. The outcry against its evil has reached heaven, and judgment is coming." The weight of those words must have been crushing. Lot runs through the dark, chaotic streets, his heart pounding. He finds the men who are engaged to his daughters and delivers the terrifying message. "Hurry, get up and leave this place, because the Lord is about to destroy the city." But they just laugh in his face. They think he's telling a crazy joke. They can't see the danger. They can't imagine their world is about to end. And so, they choose to stay behind. As the first hints of dawn streak the sky, the angel's urgency intensifies. Lot is back in his house, but he's frozen. The angels say, "Hurry, take your wife and your 2 daughters, or you will be swept away when the city is punished." But Lot hesitates. This was his home, his life's work, his possessions, years of memories. Everything he had built was in Sodom. How do you just walk away from everything you've ever known, even to save your own life? The hesitation is so profound that the angels don't wait any longer. They grab Lot by the hand. They grab his wife and his 2 daughters. They literally dragged them out of the city because the Lord was merciful to him. God's mercy wasn't just a warning. It was a physical act. He pulled Lot's family to safety when they were too paralyzed by fear and attachment to move themselves. Once they are outside the city gates, one of the angels gives a final thunderous command. Flee for your lives. Don't look back and don't stop anywhere in the plain. Flee to the mountains or you will be swept away. It's a clear instruction. Don't hesitate, just run. He looks at the rugged mountains and says, "No, my lords, please. Look, here is a small town nearby. Let me flee there. Will my life be spared?" He's still negotiating, still looking for a compromise. In an act of grace, the angel agrees. "Very well. I will grant this request. Hurry. Escape there, for I can do nothing until you arrive." The judgment of God was literally waiting for Lot to get to safety. As the sun rises over the horizon, Lot and his family finally reached the little town, which would be named Zoar, meaning small. And at that very moment, the sky opens up. The Lord rains down burning sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah. It comes from the heavens, a cataclysm of divine judgment. The entire plain, the cities, all the inhabitants, and everything that grew in the soil was destroyed. The valley becomes a smoking ruin in an instant. In the escape, a tragedy occurs. Lot's wife, against the explicit command of the angel, looks back. We don't know why. The deafening sound of destruction? Was it grief for the home she was losing, the friends she was leaving behind? Was it a longing for the life she knew? Whatever the reason, she turned her head for one last look. And in that moment, she became a pillar of salt. A stark, silent monument to the danger of clinging to a past that God is calling you away from. The next morning, Abraham, who had pleaded with God to spare the city if even a few righteous people could be found, gets up early. He goes to the place where he had stood before the Lord and looks out toward Sodom and Gomorrah. He sees dense smoke rising from the land, an entire civilization wiped from the face of the earth. This story isn't just about destruction. When God destroyed the cities of the plain, he remembered Abraham and brought Lot out of the catastrophe that overthrew the cities where Lot had lived. In the midst of judgment, he made a way for mercy. Lot and his daughters survived. They were left with nothing but their lives, no home, no community, no future they had planned. They became refugees, sheltering in a cave in the mountains. But they were alive. This powerful story echoes through thousands of years with a timeless warning. It teaches us that choices have consequences, and a society that wholeheartedly embraces evil and turns its back on God will not endure. Judgment is a reality, but so is mercy. God sent angels to warn Lot. He physically dragged him to safety. He answered the prayer of a faithful man. And through all the fire and smoke, one message rings out with perfect clarity. When God calls you to leave something behind, don't look back. The old life, the old habits, the old attachments, they are part of a world that is passing away. Your future, your safety, your new life is ahead. Run toward it and never look back. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button and subscribe for more content. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time.